At the start of the film, we first meet a girl by the name of Darby. She was a drug addict, and that's why she was in a rehab center for her treatment. She was conversing with the other members of her group. Meanwhile, she gets a call from a man who is an officer. The officer tells Darby that your mother is critically ill and will need surgery tonight. The man also requests Darby to inform her sister about this as well. However, Darby was not allowed to speak by the hospital's medical staff. Because she is a drug addict, that's why everyone believes she is lying. At night, she calls her sister from a girl's phone. Darby's sister says, "I'm so sorry, I'm quite busy and I can't come." At night, when everyone was sleeping, Darby ran away from the hospital. She steals a car while going and drives it till she arrives in a city. When she gets there, she discovers the drug she used to take. She learns from a flashback that she once took an overdose of a drug. A policeman approaches her in the interim and asks, "Where are you going?" "You can't proceed, because the road is blocked because of the storm. And I cannot let you proceed further. There is a local visitor center nearby where you can spend tonight by going." Darby goes to the visitor center to spend the night. There she meets several folks, including a boy named Ash and his companion. There was a couple in which the wife was a nurse and the husband was a soldier. Because there was less signal access in this area, Darby goes outside to catch the signals. While she was finding the signals, she hears some sounds coming from the van. As Darby peeps inside the van through the window, she notices a girl tied up there inside. This young girl was yelling for help. To assist the girl, Darby tries to open the van. However, she was unsuccessful in this since she couldn't open the van. Darby suddenly thinks that this van might belong to those who are sitting inside. That's why Darby informs the girl that "I will undoubtedly come to your help." Later, Darby snapped a picture of the van's number plate and enters the car without delay. Later, when she begins to cry, the couple's soldier arrives there. Darby is asked, "Where are you going?" Darby, however, doesn't respond to him and enters right away. She acts normally and claims not to have seen or known anything. The soldier now invites everyone to play cards. That's why, having been persuaded by him, everyone starts to play cards. Darby learns every detail about each of them throughout this entire process. Who is nurse, soldier, and kidnapper among them? Darby starts to interrogate them normally. As for where everyone is heading, and from where are they coming? Darby was posing these queries in an effort to identify the kidnapper among them. Who kidnapped the child after tying her up inside the van? When the card games come to an end, Darby learns who the kidnapper is. Actually, Ash's companion was the kidnapper. Ash was the boy who had come here to bring his kidnapper friend here. As Darby learns who the kidnapper is, she becomes confused, and after going into the washroom, she tries to text and call the police. Due to the connection's weak signal, she was unable to call. She later leaves the restroom through the hole. She manages to open the van's lock. She then approaches the girl and tries to set her free. The kidnapper, Ash's friend, arrives there in the meantime. Darby hides behind the seat because of this. So, the kidnapper couldn't see her. In the van, the kidnapper spills out his rag over the game's loss. He tells the girl, "When we get to the uncle's place, everything will be alright." The kidnapper discovers the girl has removed the cardboard from the window. For this reason, he becomes angry on the girl. He tells the girl later that "I'm going to bring something to eat for you. You might be hungry, of course," and he walks away. Darby emerges there as he departs from there. She also makes an attempt to set the girl free but was unsuccessful in freeing her. Because of this, she tells the girl again, "I vow that I'll come back to help you." She returns to the bathroom after saying this once more. On the other side, the kidnapper, while holding the food packet in his pocket, was moving towards the van. Consequently, he could feed the girl this meal. The soldier, after seeing this, asks him, "Where are you going this time?" The kidnapper informs him, "Actually, I left my phone in the vehicle and I'm going to take that." The kidnapper moves closer to the van afterward. As he opens the van's lock, the van's key suddenly falls to the ground. As he bends to take that key, he immediately looks at the footprints. And these footprints were shown from the visitor center, the place where they were all living. On the other side, we see Ash, the kidnapper's companion. He goes into the washroom and he hears Darby's sound there. "Is that you, Darby, within?" as he calls. Darby brings him inside right away after opening the door. The kidnapper, Ash's friend, arrives during that time. When he sees Darby and Ash together, he goes from there. After his departure, Darby tells Ash that his friend is actually a kidnapper, because he has chained up a girl inside his van. Ash asks after hearing this, "Have you told the police about this?" After hearing this, Darby says, "I've tried many times, but there is no network access here. After hearing this, Ash requests that Darby go outside and save the girl. Darby says we can't go because the kidnapper has gun. We should inform the soldier about this because he is a soldier and he might have the gun. According to Ash, he might not have the gun. We shouldn't put the soldier in danger. We should discover any weapons here. Upon searching, they discover a weapon. Darby is instructed by Ash to go out first when the kidnapper comes to kill you. I'll sneak up on him and will attack him, and Darby does the same. She approaches the van and tries to free the young girl. As Darby opens her mouth, she inquires where those two men are. Darby believes that there is only one kidnapper, then why the girl is referring to two persons? It implies that there is someone else who is accompanying the kidnapper. Darby peers outside the van. Ash comes to the kidnapper. Darby confirms that Ash is the person who is involved with the kidnapper. Ash rags on his friend, the kidnapper, saying that you're careless. Darby has come to know everything about you. After taking the gun, Ash moves in the direction of the van. Darby, meantime, flees from the van. After pursuing her, Ash enters the center. After going into the center and immediately goes to the restroom. He finds Darby there. Later, we see the kidnapper who had entered the center. The soldier tells his wife, the nurse, I don't like Ash's friend, I hate him and I think that there's something wrong with him. Later, the soldier asks, where is Darby? After hearing this, the kidnapper replies, I don't know, where is he? The soldier and his wife, the nurse, decide to find Darby there. That's why the soldier goes outside and tries to open the van. However, he was unable to open the van, and Ash threatened Darby by showing her a gun. If you tell anyone about anything, I'll kill you and the girl after shooting. We've kept the girl after kidnapping her for financial reasons. We won't hurt her, in fact, we really need money. Additionally, the girl's father is very wealthy. As the girl's father gives us some cash, we'll send this girl to her house. Later, Ash discovers Darby's sister's texts on her phone. He learns that Darby is a drug addict. When Ash asks Darby about her father, Darby replies that he is no longer alive. Because he had taken his life. Listen. Don't drag the conversation, Ash, and pay close attention to what I say. The girl is really unwell and needs medicine. Hearing this, Ash responds that Darby, we cannot give her as many medicines. She suffers from an illness that if she suffers terrible stress and medicine will be given to her, as a result, she'll overdose. Ash again threats Darby to kill her and suddenly the nurse, the soldier's wife, arrives there. After seeing the nurse, Ash acts as if he and Darby like each other. Later, Ash departs, and the nurse asks Darby, are you okay? Hearing this, Darby says yes, I'm fine. Later, they come out where everyone was sitting. Here, Ash invites Darby to join them. The soldier asks Darby about her father as well. Darby tells him my father was actually a shooter. Here, Ash reveals to everyone the truth about her father's action of taking his own life. Darby glances outside during this and notices the girl has emerged from the van. Ash notices this as well, so he points his partner to go outside. He then exits right away, and Darby goes into the bathroom. Later, Ash pursues her as well. He grabs Darby and attempts to kill her after strangling her neck. But Darby somehow manages to escape herself. As the kidnapper comes, he informs Ash that the girl has run away. She isn't in the van, I believe she has gone to the mountain. She won't return by our call. Hearing this, Ash claims, but she will come by Darby's call. That's why Ash, after taking Darby, goes towards the mountain. The kidnapper claims that if our uncle finds out, he'll get upset. Darby asks who this uncle is after hearing this. The kidnapper claims our uncle has adopted us, Ash and me. We are both siblings who are currently employed by our uncle. After tricking them, Darby tries to flee from them. When Ash notices this, he shoots her, but the bullet misses her. Darby collapses after moving forward with a tree. The soldier, after hearing the sound of the gunfire, comes out to check. After coming out, he sees the same girl who was found faint there. He immediately comes into center by taking the girl. After being examined by his wife, the nurse, she says the girl isn't feeling well, but Darby succeeds in entering the center after tricking the brothers. After arriving there, she tells the soldier that I know about this girl. She was kidnapped by Ash and his companion, who was a kidnapper. They both are dangerous and they're siblings, they possess guns. Ash and the kidnapper arrive at the center in the interim. As the soldier sees them, he shuts the door and draws the curtain there. When Ash and the kidnapper attempt to enter, the soldier says, I know you're pretty dangerous because you have a gun. Later, Ash warns to pay close attention because the girl is ill, and if she doesn't take her medication at the right time, she could die. And we have that medication, please take these medicines and feed her. Here, the nurse advises us to accept their offer. Darby and the soldiers disagree, though. Darby informs them that you can't escape from here because I have the keys of your van. Here, the soldier instructs Ash to deliver the medicines to us in exchange for the keys to the van. Ash and his partner realize they don't have the keys. They approach the vehicle and after taking the petrol, they return. Outside the center, they start to sprinkle the petrol. The nurse forbids them from doing this and says, please don't do this because we'll die in this way. Please let's move on from this. The soldier informs Darby that they neither burn the fire nor they'll go. So hide the van's keys. He then hands over the key to his own car. Here Ash asks him to hand them the girl so we'll let you go. But the soldier doesn't agree with him. Darby hides those keys and keeps some tools with her as a weapon. She also provides the soldier with some tools. Ash ignites the matchstick and warns them to give the girl to them. Otherwise, I've the burnt matchstick in my hand and I'll set the fire. The nurse tells the soldier to do that because they'll kill us after burning us. We should hand them the girl. The soldier asks his wife, nurse, why are you feeling frightened? Don't worry, they won't hurt us. The girl awakens in the meantime and recognizes the nurse. Here, we see the flashback scene, the nurse who once cared for this girl and worked at her home. This girl used to tease the nurse, even though she disregarded her. That's why the nurse has aided Ash and his partner in their attempt to kidnap the girl. As they don't have the girl's medicines, they call the nurse and ask her to deliver her medicines. And warns her that we won't give you any share if you don't bring the medicines. She came here in that dreadful storm with her husband for that reason. So she could provide the girl's medication to both of them. Here, they discover the truth, which is why the nurse informs Ash that her husband, the soldier, doesn't have any gun and he is lying. Later, the nurse sprays Darby with pepper spray. The soldier after seeing this asks, why are you doing this? The nurse explains that we've spent all our savings and we have no money for survival. Upon hearing this, he remarks that if it had been the case, you would have informed me, I would have given you money, and everything would have been good. Ash and the kidnapper enter the house in the meantime. And the girl gives the girl an injection, which helps her recover. Later, the nurse assures the soldier that the girl won't be hurt and that she will reach her home safely. Upon hearing this, Darby remarks, I don't think she'll return home safely. I don't believe these brothers will send her home, because they're smugglers who used to smuggle people. The nurse becomes astonished when she hears this. She requests Ash to call the girl's father, who will pay you triple the amount instead of double. As everything was decided, Ash knew just where to take this girl. He asks for the van's keys and the soldier replies, I don't have any keys. He warns the soldier with his gun after hearing this. The nurse tells after hearing this, that my husband is not faulty. And Darby may have kept the keys elsewhere. The soldier requests Darby not to tell them anything about the keys. After hearing this, Ash becomes so enraged that he shoots the soldier and kills him. As soon as the nurse notices this, she starts to pepper spray Ash as well. But when the kidnapper approaches and the spray entered in his eyes. As a result, Ash after shooting the nurse, he murders her. He asks Darby for the keys once more. When Darby rejects to give the keys, he fixes her hands on the wall with a nail gun. Darby feels terrible agony as a result and she cries a lot. The kidnapper tells Ash I can't see anything because my eyes are burning. From there, Ash takes him to wipe his eyes. When they both leave, Darby tries to free her. But she was in such severe pain that she was unable to free herself. For this reason, she calls the girl nearby and asks her to give her the hammer. In the meantime, as she was handing her the hammer, Ash and his partner arrive there. And Darby immediately hides the hammer. Darby receives a message in her phone that her mother has passed away. Darby is shown these messages by Ash. Ash learns that the texts she was attempting to send police. Because of the internet access, they have been delivered to the police. This causes the kidnapper to grow alarmed and perplexed. Here, Ash asks Darby for the keys. Once Darby declines to hand over the keys. This time, he threatens to shoot the girl's hand with a nail gun. The girl starts crying in fear after hearing this. The kidnapper later prevents Ash from doing this. But he also doesn't pay attention to his friend. Finally, Darby tells him where the keys are kept. Ash while going there hands the gun to his kidnapper friend and asks him to stay there. He requests that if anyone from them acts inappropriately, you can shoot and kill them. He then goes outside to look for the keys. On the other side, we can see the police approaching the center. The kidnapper assures the girl that everything would be all right when we return. Darby looks around and asks the girl to turn off the lights. Even though she was terrified, She goes up to turn off the lights. The kidnapper notices that she is getting up. He asks her to sit down. She doesn't listen to the kidnapper and goes to turn off the lights. The kidnapper later threatens her, saying, "I'll murder you." The girl turns off the light, and as the lights turned off, Darby immediately brings out the nails from her hand with the help of the hammer. As the kidnapper turns on the light, Darby uses a hammer to hit on his face. Ash is seen outdoors and finds the keys. He hears a gunshot. He goes inside to check. 0:19:18.539, 0:19:23.926. He sees Darby has kept his partner, kidnapper, and has taken him to gunpoint. Ash shows his nail gun and threatens her. In the meantime, the kidnapper asks Darby not to fire the weapon. The girl appears out of nowhere and hits Ash's hand. Unintentionally, the kidnapper was hit by a nail to the forehead. The kidnapper grows anxious as a result. Ash approaches him and assures him that nothing will harm you. After taking the girl, Darby goes out and gets into the car. On the other side, Ash, after taking the kidnapper, was coming outside. Because the kidnapper's foot slipped and he falls, as a result, a nail was inserted into his forehead. And as a result, he passes away right there. Ash, after seeing this, becomes heartbroken, and ragged as well. He goes out, for this reason, puncturing Darby's tire. The car consequently becomes unbalanced and crashes. When Ash attempts to murder Darby using a nail gun, the cops arrive. Police ask him to surrender after seeing him, and Darby slowly comes out. Darby shoots Ash, leading the police officer to believe Darby is a criminal. And the police officer fires at her, causing her to tumble. In the meantime, Ash grabs the nearby gun and shoots the police. He then approaches Darby with the intent to shoot her, but the gun was out of bullet. Later, Ash was preparing to use the nail gun to kill Darby. She places the screwdriver on his neck in the meanwhile. Ash's game thus ends up there. The girl was also observing everything by sitting in the car. Later, Darby approaches the policeman and uses his radio to ask for help. After some time, we see Darby in the rehab center. We can view some of this girl's drawings there. That means Darby was still in touch with the young girl. Darby's sister shows up later to meet her. Darby feels thrilled and emotional after seeing her. The film ends up here.